I asked,
do most Koreans who have nice skin go to dermatologists, or do they just have naturally nice skin? And how far does skin whitening go? TLDR, please.
Okay, I got something to say before we start here.
Right off the get-go.
Okay, a lot of people say things like they see K-pop stars in magazines and they're like, oh my god, their skin is so perfect. Guys, listen, celebrities around the world, they wear lots of makeup, they have Photoshop. So do not be fooled. So our focus today is not going to be on people who have their own personal makeup artists to cover up all their pimples. We're going to be talking about what does the average Korean person do.
And what we have noticed is that the average Korean does seem to have rather nice skin.
Yes, and we're not talking about people who are like really young. We're talking about people who are young and getting older, like 40s, 50s, 60s. Do you remember some of our co-teachers?
I remember your co-teacher. You had one of them who said she was like in her mid-40s, and I'm like, you shut your mouth. You just graduated from high school. There's no way you're in your 40s.
I mean, her skin was amazing, and she was just like, oh, I don't do anything.
And she flicks her hair all the time and just floats everywhere, and screw you.
Okay, so in Korea, a lot of people do visit dermatologists.
My idea of the dermatologist in Canada was that you only went if you had skin issues.
Yes,
like
exactly.
if you had major acne, or if you had like moles or something along those lines, like major ones that you had to get fixed.
Did you have acne when you were growing up?
Oh, I had terrible skin when I was growing up.
Did you visit a dermatologist?
Yeah, and they're like, back then, you're just like, I don't know, walk it off, jerk. But now they have treatments for it. But back in my day, I suffered.
Oh no, I've never been to a dermatologist before.
I've never been to there.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, just everything.
I have a mole, and so I had to keep an eye on it, but I don't really know people who went to dermatologists all the time. But in Korea, it's like, it's part of your normal kind of schedule to see a dermatologist.
Yeah, and going to a dermatologist here isn't only for having really bad skin issues, but it's just for like regular skin treatments.
Yeah, so like even Susie has a dermatologist.
Right.
And it's so funny because we asked Susie, we're like, Susie, do you know anyone that has a dermatologist in Korea? She's like, yeah, all my friends and me. And I'm like, what? And so she says she goes to a dermatologist to actually pop their like blackheads or pimples. Like,
yeah, they'll go there and just like totally get rid of everything from you.
Like they'll professionally do it for you. And she said like
professional pimple poppers. That's what I want to be when I grow up, Mom.
Pick me.
Martina always picks on my face.
I'm like a monkey grooming.
I wake up in the middle of the night with her being like, let me get that for you.
That one I'm gonna get. So things like getting skin peeling, or like them doing facials, or popping your pimples, or even doing like whitening treatments, all this kind of stuff is very normal for the dermatologist.
We do want to clarify what we mean by whitening though, because that has a totally different connotation here than what you might be thinking.
Okay, so a lot of skin products in Korea and a lot of like masks and stuff will say things like, oh, this mask is whitening, or this skin cream is whitening. And people who are visiting here will misinterpret that and think that Korean people are trying to like bleach their skin, or, you know, like.
They're not trying to be more Caucasian with this. This isn't Caucasianifying cream.
I think the word whitening is just the wrong English word.
Yeah.
What they're trying to say is toning. They're trying to like even out their skin tone. So for example, I actually have a green cream that I buy because when I have like really, really rosy red patches underneath my skin, I use green cream on it. And then I put BB cream on top of that because it neutralizes the look on my face so it's not patchy. So Susie says when you buy something with whitening, it's because like, oh, maybe my eyes are really like kind of bright here, but then this part of my skin might be darker and this part here. So you use it to try to even it out.
More like evenifying rather than whitening.
Evenifying, right? Because every Korean person.
Evening. Well, then they think it's not afternoon.
They should just call it tone evening or something.
Balancing?
Skin balancing?
There needs to be a better word. Whitening isn't the word.
Okay, skin tone balancing.
There you go.
Right.
Also, you could go to a dermatologist here for whitening treatment, but the whitening that they do, again, isn't to make your skin whiter, but it's also to make it like brighter and glowier and poppier. So there are treatments for that.
Yeah, the glowy and like the dewy look in Korea is so big. Like I'll buy BB cream, and to me, personally, it makes my skin look like it's greasy. If you watch Korean dramas, you guys might notice that the main actresses will be glistening, and to me, I'm like, oh, like she just needs to be powdered down.
She's just glowing.
They like
radiance.
that fresh, like dewy look.
Another thing that's really interesting about dermatologists is that's from what Susie told us. A lot of guys go to dermatologists as well for skin treatments. I don't know a single one of my guy friends that gives a rat's ass about what his skin looks like. No cream, no dermatologist, no nothing. So to hear that so many guys here do it is really surprising to me.
But I think that's really cool about Korea because that whole concept of metrosexual, it's a term that we had to make in North America to say, oh, he's not gay, he's he's, you know, trying to take care of himself, which is something that gay guys do and straight guys don't do that.
Yeah,
And
no,
it became this big, horrible, like, word.
No, it's like people here take care of themselves.
Yes, myself.
I'm not negligent.
Yes.
Yes.
There should be an anti-term in North America. You're not metrosexual. I'm not negligent.
People aren't metrosexual, it's just the opposite people are slut. And you look like a sea donkey's
Yes,
butthole.
exactly. So speaking of guys using skin cream and stuff, I think the second category of people taking care of themselves in Korea is actually using cream and sunscreen. Sunscreen in North America is so funny. Or sunblock. Is there different there?
Spoofs.
Spoofs, if
Whatever
you will.
has a high spoof.
Yeah, people in Korea will use that, even if they're a dude, and you're not gonna get made fun of. But I remember at school, if we went on a field trip, and I pulled out my spoofs because I did not like my skin getting burnt, people would be like, what a loser, Martina's putting on sunscreen. I'd be like, what a loser, my skin will look great when I'm 30.
Look at you now! Who is laughing now, you Hagrid holes?
Hagrid holes?
I couldn't think of another word.
Poor
after
Hagrid. Why are you bringing Hagrid into this?
Hagrid.
Apologize to Hagrid.
I'm sorry, Hagrid. You're a handsome devil.
You are.
The really interesting distinction that you need to make here in Korea is that people here understand that the sun is a death ray machine.
It is a death ray.
It is going to ruin you and your skin, and people are aware of that. They have like umbrellas, they have hats, they cover their arms and sleeves. Here they know the sun is out to kill you.
That's right. So that's the third thing I was actually going to say. So you might visit a dermatologist, you might actually use cream to keep your face from like wrinkling and falling apart. And then the third thing is, let's say you don't care about any of that stuff. You are at least going to protect yourself from the sun using an object. You know those arm sleeves you were talking about?
Yeah, everyone has those sleeves.
Didn't we do a WTF?
Here it goes. It's pretty.
Oh, it's really tight.
Snug fit.
I really feel like an anime character. You know how like manga and anime characters have these like ridiculous costumes that have like armpit free zones? And they're like, I'm gonna fight for life, because that's what I can do. You know what I'm talking about?
Shoryuken!
Like way.
Yeah, the
like
one in which
Bucheon?
it makes your arms cooler if you like wave your hands like this, like
Okay.
a bushwhacker.
Do you know that we didn't even know like that was for UV protection at the time? Like,
Right.
Okay, so you'll see old dudes driving a truck, and if the window's open, they're wearing these sleeves to protect their arm from getting like sun exposure.
The fact is, we rarely actually see people now that we're driving around Korea with their windows rolled
Yep,
down. A
and-
lot of them have it rolled up and highly tinted.
I was gonna say, so tinted.
There are no
Like,
tinting laws here.
No. So you're looking at a bunch of old dudes that care about skin exposure.
Yeah.
And this is why I really truly believe that Korean people have such beautiful skin, and
Yeah.
not just Korean people, other Asian cultures that believe that the sun is a death ray, they protect their skin.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about this in our blog post, including mole removal, which we had done here as well at the dermatologist. Make sure you click on the link here if you want to read more about it and carry on the conversation there.
Okay, so here's my question for you guys. Growing up in North America, tanning was like this kind of like a status symbol thing. Like I went on vacation, look at my tan. But in Korea, getting a tan is not cool.
I've
okay?
not actually seen any tanning salons here. I'm sure they exist, I just don't know where.
So what's it like in your country? Is getting a tan something that's like acceptable and normal? Or is it the kind of thing where it's like you try to avoid the sun at all costs? Let me hear what it's like in your country.
A really interesting comment came from Tokeeks, who wound up saying, well, they wrote lol. I'm not sure if you're supposed to say lol.
I believe you are supposed to laugh out loud. Go for it.
Who wound up saying, ha ha ha, free stuff in the US. If they could, they would charge you for breathing.
Yeah, breathing law coming soon. Bananator, which I guess is someone who gives out bananas to people.
A
They're
banana machine.
A bananator has a really cool story about living in California and getting free service at a sushi place. Her and her friend went there after getting dumped, and they had gone there a lot, and this sushi place already gave out free stuff, and they were there like crying and being upset about being dumped. And then the waiter came by and said, poor pretty ladies, here, have a free bottle of sake.
Now, here's an interesting theory about this. I'm not sure if it's the same for you as it is for us, but every single one of the sushi restaurants that we went to in Toronto was actually run by Korean people.
Dun, dun.
If it's the same for you, maybe you just got Korean service instead. I don't know. Maybe it's the same there, but that's how it is for us. And the last comment we want to talk about is from Autumn Wind, who, if you remember from our TLDR, I want to talk about getting CDs in cereal boxes, and you disagreed. Autumn Wind remembers they came from Honey Nut Cheerios, and then people started talking about the AOL CDs. You for sure know those AOL online CDs.
Yeah, but I had like an old school Mac, so I was like, oh my god, AOL!
AOL!
What kind of account does GD use? It's GD at AOL!